Alright guys, today we're going to look at how to factor trinomials in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So for each one of these trinomials, again remember trinomial means 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Each one of these has 3 pieces, so they're trinomials. Okay, we learned how to factor trinomials in the form of x squared plus bx plus c, but we haven't looked at what happens when there's a number in front of this trinomial that can't be factored out or can't be taken out using GCF. So in the first problem, I have 7r squared plus 45 plus 18. I can't get rid of the 7 out in front because 45 and 18 are not divisible by 7, so I'm stuck with it. The first thing I'm going to do is find my factors of a, right? Factors of a. My a term is always the number out in front. This one happens to be 7. The only factors of 7 are 7 and 1. So when I break this apart into two binomials, I know that I'm going to need 7r and 1r, because those are the factors of my a term. Next, I'm looking at the factors of c, which in this case is 18. The factors of 18 are 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. What I need to do is find a pair of factors of c so that when I plug them in to my binomial, I end up with my middle term, which is 45r. I'm going to choose the pair that works, and then I'm going to explain why it works. Okay? So the pair of factors of c, the factors of 18 that you would need would be 3 and 6. The reason it has to be 3 and 6, and it has to go in a certain order, 3, then 6. The reason it is these numbers and it has to be in this order is because if I take, let me rewrite it so I have space. If I take this factored pair, or this binomial, if I'm trying to FOIL to get my middle term, remember that's going to be the O, the outside, plus I, the inside. 7 times 6 is 42, so this would be 42r. 3 times r is 3r, and when I add this, I get 45r. So the combination of pairs that I needed to use were 7 and 1 and 3 and 6, and it had to be in that order. If I change the order up, if I put 6 first instead of 3, 6 first instead of 3, what I end up with is 21r plus 6r, and that's 27r, which is not 45, so that doesn't work. So it has to be in the order that it's written above, 7r plus 3 times r plus 6. Now, this might take a little more time to figure out. It might take a little bit of guesswork, some trial and error, but as long as you end up with two binomials with the pairs that add up to the middle term in the correct order, you'll be fine. In the second example, again, my first number is a 7. I know automatically I'm going to break that up as 7x and x, because the factors of 7 are 7 and 1. Now I'm looking at the factors of negative 24, because that's my c term. I have multiple factors here because it is negative. Okay, those are all the factors of negative 24. I need to pick the factors that are going to help me get to positive 22. So obviously one of my numbers is going to be negative, and I have to figure out where to put it. If I go through this, I know that it's not likely that my pair is going to have 24 in it. 24 is too large of a number. If I multiply 24 by 7, that's going to be way larger than 22, my middle term. And if I add it or subtract it from 7, I'm still not going to be anywhere near 22. 2 and 12, if I put 12 out here and I multiply, that's going to be larger than 22. If I put 12 inside and 2 on the outside, and I multiply, again, I'm multiplying the outside and the inside and adding them up. So that'd be 12 plus 14 or 12 minus 14 or 14 minus 12. That's not going to get me anywhere near 22. So I know these guys are also out of the question. So now I'm down to 4 choices. Negative 3 and 8. If I put negative 3 and positive 8, this would get me 56. There's no way that's going to work. If I put 8 inside and 3 outside, this would be 21, and that would be 8, which won't work either. So it looks like 3s and 8s are also out. And now I'm down to 2 choices. Negative 4 and positive 6, or positive 4 and negative 6. So let's just try negative 4 and positive 6, the first pair. If I multiply this, I end up with 42 and negative 4, which won't work. But maybe we should switch them so that I write positive 6 first and negative 4 second. Negative 4 times 7 is negative 28. And if I add the 6 to it, I'm left with negative 22. So I know that I'm very close. I just need a positive 22 instead. So maybe we should use the second pair over here and just switch the signs. Now if I multiply, this becomes positive 28 and negative 6, which gets me positive 22, which is exactly what I need. So this is going to be the correctly factored trinomial. 7x minus 6 and x plus 4. Again, it takes a little time to walk through this, but you should eventually be able to break these numbers down in your head, and you know that you're multiplying the 2 outside terms and the middle terms to add up to be that middle number. So it should eventually become pretty easy to do in your head. In the third problem, I have factors of 10 that I need to look at. I'm also going to look at the factors of 18. Factors of 10 are 1 and 10, and 2 and 5. Factors of 18 are 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. I need my factors to add up to be negative 49, and because the middle term is negative, I know that the factors of 18 are all going to be negative. The reason this works is because negative 1 times negative 18 is positive 18. Negative 2 times negative 9 is positive 18. Negative 3 times negative 6 is positive 18. So I can switch all of these factors to be negative as long as both factors in each pair are negative. So we're going to look for a combination of the factors of 10 and the factors of 18 that when I multiply the outer and the inner and then add those together, I get negative 49. So let's look at 1 and 10. If I'm using 1 and 10, let's think about what we'd be multiplying by. I could multiply 10 by -1, 2, or 3. That'd be -10, -20, -30. And that means I'd have to multiply 1 by 18, 9, and 6. If I add those combinations, this is not going to work. So right out the gate, I get rid of 1 and 10 because that's going to be too large. So I know my factors are going to be 2 and 5. So I'm just going to go ahead and write 2m and 5m inside my binomial because I know my factors have to be 2 and 5. Now it's just a matter of lining up the correct factors of 18. $18 itself is going to be too large. If I multiply 18 by 5, the number's too big. If I multiply 18 by 2, I'm at -36, but that's just not close enough to 49. If I look at -2 and -9, if I put -2 here and -9 here, this becomes -18, and this is -10, which is -28 if I add it up. But if I switch the order and I put -9 first and -2 second, now I have -4 and -45, which adds up to be -49. So this is actually going to be the pair and the order I need. In example 4, I have 10b squared minus 19b minus 2. The factors of 10 are 1 and 10 and 2 and 5. The factors of -2 are -1 and +2 and +1 and -2. So this won't take too long because I don't have very many factors to work with here. I need my factors to add up to be -19. If I'm looking at this, I know that I'm probably going to need 10. I'm probably going to need 10. So I'm going to write this as 10b and 1b. I need -19. So if I take 10 and I multiply that by -2, I know I'm at -20, which is really close. So let's use this pair. I have to multiply 10 by -2, so I need -2 to be on the outside, which means +1 has to be on the inside. This is 1b, and this is -20, which adds up to be -19. And -19 is my middle term. So I know that my factored version of this problem is 10b plus 1 and b minus 2. Alright guys, that was factoring trinomials of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Have a great day.